There we go. So today's lesson, we're going to be combining the skills that we've learned from two of our earlier lessons. So last lesson, we were getting to grips with distance time graphs, like the one you can see here, and we were working out distances and we were working out times and what have you. We're going to be using distant time graphs again today, but we're going to be using them to calculate speed, to calculate velocity. So velocity is just another name for speed. So we are going to be working out the speeds from these graphs. Now remember what speed is. The speed is the distance that you go in an hour. So say, for example, you're going at 100 miles per hour. That means, obviously that's fast, that means, as you know, that you go 100 miles in 60 minutes. You go 100 miles an hour. So if you knew that they've been traveling for 30 minutes, if you knew they've been traveling for 30 minutes, you'd say, right, that's half the time. So they've gone half the miles, they will have gone 5 miles. Okay. If you knew that they traveled 20 miles, again, you just say, right, that's double the mileage, it's going to be double the time, that's going to take them 120 minutes, that's going to take them 2 hours, and so on. So we are just going to have to use these two skills. We need to understand how the graphs work, and we need to work out some speeds. So all we're going to do is this single example here, and I think all the questions I've set for you on Dr. Frost today are very similar to this. So let's have a read of this one. The graph shows part of Lucy's car journey from London till Sheffield. The car makes one stop at a service station. So what I want you to do, make sure you read the words each time, and then if you run it off, annotate the graph. So we're starting from London. So this is when we're at London. We're ending up at Sheffield. That's when we're at Sheffield. And obviously the car made one stop. That's when we're stopped, isn't it? That's when we're stopped at the service station. We stopped at it. So just make sure to start with, you understand what's going on with each of the graphs. Now, then read the question carefully. It could be asking you to work out a number of things. Work out the average speed of the car in miles per hour between London and the service station. Now that's when we stopped at the service, so that's where it says stop, that's the service station stop, where we stopped at the service station. So this particular question, so you've got to be careful what it asks, is between London, so between London and the service station, So when did we get to the service station? So draw a line down when you got to the service station and carefully work out what time it was. Now we're going from 11:30 and it's 3 squares to get to 12, so be careful. So that's going to be 10-minute squares, 11:40, 11:50, 12 o'clock. So first of all, I can see that I got to the service station at 11:50. So how long did it take me to get to the service station? So reading from the graph, I can see that it took me 50 minutes. Well, that's very faint. I don't think you're going to really be able to see that. I'm just going to change colour. That was about, either we've got a really bad lag. Oh yeah, that's a bad choice of colour. Let me just go and do this bit again. So we started at 11. We started at 11. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to move the black and it's stopped. There we go. We started at 11. Let's just see that 11 getting circled. There's a bit of a lag now. There we go. We got to the service station at 11:50. Just circling the 11:50. So how long is that? That is a 50-minute journey to the service station. So I know there's a bit of a lag, but I know it was 50 minutes. There you go. It's just coming up in black on the right. Now, how far away was the service station from London? So go across and read the distance, and that's here. All right, that's halfway between 40 and 60. So that is 50 miles. So from the distance time graph, I know that I've gone 50 miles in 50 minutes. So this is an easy one. I can easily see that I'm going 1 mile in 1 minute. So I would therefore, just by scaling down, all right, that's 50 miles, it's 50 minutes. So one mile would be 1 minute, and so on. Now, of course, I've been asked to work out my speed in miles per hour. And as I said before, that's how many miles I go in 1 hour. Of course, there's a real lag now. It hasn't even come up yet that where I've written 1 mile in 1 minute. That was ages ago I wrote that. So anyway, so 50 miles in 50 minutes, 1 mile in 1 minute. So that would be 60 miles in 60 minutes. To work out the speed you're going at, you are going to have to work out how many miles you go in an hour, in 60 minutes, okay? So I would go 60 miles in 60 minutes. So to answer this question, work out the average speed of the car in miles per hour. Well, that is 60 miles per hour, okay? So 60 miles in 60 minutes, therefore 60 miles per hour. So that's it, folks. So I think I've only set 10 questions today, but there's a lot to do for each one. First of all, you've got to make sure you understand what's going on. So write in the bits like London or where you stopped in Sheffield, or at least make sure you understand it. Because this question could have asked me, what was my average speed between the service station and Sheffield? And then I would have had to do it between when I left the service station and when I got to Sheffield. So you're going to have to get the information off the distance time graph. And then secondly, you're then going to have to use that to work out whatever they want you to work out the speed. So that's it, folks. So don't unmute yet. Don't switch the camera off yet. I'm just going to go and stop the recording.